This is this is Open Forum. My name is Jagat Kamdar along with Smriti Grover in the studio.
Hi there.
Hi guys, how are you? I'm going to introduce you, but we are going to have a very interesting topic today, and it's nothing else. Everybody knows a few things in their life. Taxes is one of them, and so we are going to talk about taxes. There are three wonderful and known people in the studio. One is Swapan Deriwan in the studio and Mahesh Desai in the studio that I know them for a long time. And Rimple, I met you for the first time, but you have been in this business for a long time. Well, welcome to Open Forum. Smriti, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's a
How,
beautiful day today.
how was your Saturday? Or
Good. It was
is your
busy,
Saturday?
or it's been kind of busy.
I know. You are going out also in the evening again.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have a third person missing today, so well, we have plenty of people in the studio,
Yeah,
and
we
we're
have
excited to talk about
abs-
taxes,
absolutely,
tax
absolutely,
season, actually.
absolutely. Yeah. Nothing. Life doesn't begin or end with. It ends with taxes anyway.
Yes, that's right. Got to pay a tax for
You have to
everything.
give pay taxes. So, folks, this is Open Forum. Number here, if any of the listeners wants to call in, the number here is 800 444 1061. Please give us a call. Uh, anything not, don't give us a call right away. Just wait a little longer. Give us about 15, 20 minutes so that we can talk about some of the issues related to the taxes. And then you can give us a call. Again, that number is 1-800 444 1061. Smriti, you know that it is being simultaneously broadcasted
Live
in
in Austin.
live in
Right.
Austin.
That's right.
And what is that? The dial number?
The di- oh, it's the same dial number, right? It's
Yes,
1-800-444-1061.
right. So anyone who's really listening in Austin, I hope some of them do. You can always call in. The number here is even from Austin or from anywhere in America is 1-800 444 1061. Let me begin with a quote, none other than one of the famous guy in America that quoted that only two constant in life. One is death and one is taxes. So who can we attribute that quote to?
Seems like you're the only one who knows that. We're all at a
Well,
little blank here.
listen, guys, come on. It's 1789, none other than Franklin Roosevelt. Oh, I'm sorry, Benjamin Franklin, who said that even though the taxes were not implemented, that there were no taxes, the taxes came into being in the United States in 1930. That was the year that they started taxing. And he made this in 1979 when he was talking to someone in France, some scientist in France, philosopher in France. And that is when he made the statement. And I just couldn't believe it that he could even forecast at that time that there's going to be taxes, you know. And it's going to be more taxes under the new administration. Well, listen, that is something, it's a political issue that we can talk about a little later. So
Let's get started. No, but
don't,
he's right. He
don't
is
get me
right.
started in
So,
politics here.
yeah, he's right about that. He's like speaking for me as well. So
Because
perfect.
I'm politically, I'm on a liberal spectrum. So, there are going to be a lot of differences between the thinking of the CPAs and my thinking. But let's not go there.
And the people's
And the
things.
people, no, I think some people would agree with me though. But
Let's wait and see.
let's wait.
Let's wait and see.
So, I guess instead of me introducing you all three, let's Swapan. Swapan, welcome to Open Forum. You are not new to Open Forum. You have been here many times, defending so many different people, different hats. Right. So go ahead.
Thank you. Organization which has been around since 21 years, started in 1999. Sugatai, you were the founder member of that organization
Yes.
as well. Thank you for seeding that organization. Grew, bed, and this Chamber of Commerce has been around since 21 years, and we have been holding this tax seminars since last 9 or 10 years, almost since 2012 exactly. And that's the time that we started the tax seminars to educate our community and to reach out to the community with the views about the IRS and the code. And of course, in that we have been fortunate to have Rimple Mashruwala and also Mahesh Bhai Desai over here today. And they have been volunteering with the chamber since that year. So congratulations and thank you for doing that for so many long years. I remember Rimple we have reached out to her in 2012 when she was just just a CPA out of that, and she was working then. And congratulations, we would like to welcome you as a new CPA with your new office opened up in Sugarland by yourself. Congrats. And of course, Mahesh Desai, he has been around for 30 plus years. He has been volunteering in the community a lot. And also with the Certified Financial Planners Association, he was the president of that organization as well. And he does financial planning as well, apart from taxes, of course. So that is a little bit about the organization, about my fellow CPAs over here. And today's topic, of course, we will be talking mainly about individual taxes. And the topic is individual filing in unprecedented times. These are unprecedented times, of course. The year last, the 2020 year, and of course, now since we are into that year in which we are seeing things being opened up and everything, it has been a phenomenal year in the sense that the way in which my fellow CPAs, the accountants, and the bookkeepers, or anyone for that matter, anyone in the financial field, they have been able to task themselves and move ahead. Remember March 17th of 2020 when everything closed out, and after that we had the first tranche of $2.2 trillion to be put into the economy. These were the people and these were the soldiers who stood up and already were there in the trenches. Thereafter, we have the $1.3 trillion, of course, which came up recently in January of this year. And with that money into the economy, there are going to be a lot of changes. And there are going to be a lot of things which are happening. So before I dive into the topic, I would first like a minute from both of you actually to talk about typically what did you see during this entire 2020 March and March of 21? How you have been able to cope up with your different clients, with the resources which were available, the software glitches which were there, and of course, the big thing about that anxiety and the worry with which you were facing, not only in your family, but along with your team of members as employees or whatever. Can you share, Mahesh Bhai, first?
Yeah, so the COVID inception created a lot of anxiety. The business shut down. The government started a relief program, stimulus program for the businesses, PPP loan. Some business were asked to shut down, and some were declared essential. Some could not operate because of the issues related to the government orders. Even the IRS offices were shut down. They were working from home. I hear that they still have a unopened mails that they are going through. So everything was a chaotic, and it was really a messy situation, and we didn't know how we will come out of this. However, the federal government responded very nicely, and they gave a stimulus to the individuals as well as the businesses. And now we are getting another stimulus, and I think I would say that with the vaccine coming out and easily available now, we are coming out. We are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully we will put the COVID behind. So it's an unprecedented time for everybody. It's a stressful time, and in that you have to go through the taxes, and we are here to help and answer whatever questions you have. So that's all I will say. Just be optimistic. The taxes are not going to go away. Don't neglect the notices or don't neglect your obligations to pay and file the taxes. It will cost you more in the long run, and just try to be organized and get it over with it.
Thank you, Mahesh Bhai. Of course, and as you said earlier correctly, Jagat bhai, debt and taxes. That's the big thing. We
You cannot
have
avoid it.
you cannot be able to avoid it. So we are over
Absolutely.
here. Of course, people can call in this number at open forum later on, maybe 20 minutes from now, when we have covered a few basic topics about it. Today is about individuals, but that does not mean that you cannot call us something regarding your business issues and everything. Here, I'd like to put a disclaimer as well. The Indo-American Chamber of Commerce does this as an educative seminar. And of course, you are at liberty to reach out to these CPAs out over here
Right.
on their personal front and pay the consultation charges, meet them, talk to them, and see how best they can be able to
Well,
assist you.
we also need to make an announcement here because every last Sunday, Saturday, it's a chamber hour, as you know. It's sponsored by the chamber. What we call it a business connect, and so thanks to the chamber, no question about it, and Jagdeep and people like you, the Swapan, that actually it was your idea and Subodhi's idea
Yeah.
originally, that this thing came through with Open Forum, and we are extremely happy with this, and we have been doing this for last
This is the third
four,
year.
right?
Third
Right.
year.
So last Saturday, every last Saturday of the month, we are going to have 1 hour of Business Connect sponsored by the Chamber. Thank you, Chamber of Commerce. I really appreciate your support.
Thank you. Thank you, Jagatai. Next, I'd like to have Rimple talk about the same question.
Yeah, so it has been crazy year since March of last year up until now, and I'm expecting another crazy year ahead, and the roller coaster ride is still coming along.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people in the industry in out there who needs help, especially individuals, especially businesses, small businesses, and they can use CPA services to kind of get the help that government is offering them. So we are here, and I think even Swapanji, you are here. I think reach out to their individual CPAs and see what help they can get from the government. And everything is out there. Government is ready to help. Sometimes it just takes the discipline to get organized, as Mahesh said, and put your things together and apply for the help.
Okay. So now diving into the questions. So basically, any of you can say, tell the deadlines which are coming up basically, and what the act did about postponing some deadlines or something like that. Can you just share it with the audience over here?
Absolutely. So government has extended the deadline to May 15th for everyone. But being in Texas and due to the winter storm, we have additional 1 month. So the deadline for Texans is June 15th. And the deadline is applicable for everything. Even if your IRA contribution was originally due on April 15th, it'll be now due on June 15th. And similarly, your HSA contributions and all those things that were tied originally to the April 15th deadline will now be due on June 15th for Texans.
Okay, good, good. And can you just mention something about the stimulus that you mentioned earlier? How were the stimuluses, package one, package two, package three, and what questions that you as tax preparers have to ask the taxpayers while filing their tax returns?
Yeah. So basically, you got, I mean, federal government gave it three stimulus if you were qualified and you're based on the AGI. So first, you got $1,200 last year, then you got another 600, and this is the latest one is 1,400. With each stimulus, you got a notices saying that this is how much has been given to you. Now you don't have to repay that, but in order for the CPA to decide whether you got it or not, if you give them and if you give the notice to them and if you did not get that money, they can still claim while filing your 2020 tax return. So that is why we need those notices. Just don't say, oh, I got it, or I didn't get it, or I'm not sure I got it. Oh, so those vague answers will hurt you, the taxpayer. When we prepare the taxes, we need to have those information so that way we can claim it if you did not receive it.
Fantastic. Hey, folks, this is Open Forum. Uh, the number here is 800-444-1061. In the studio, we have Smriti Grover, We love her here on this open forum. She's part of open forum, as a matter of fact, and she's going to have a wonderful voice, a beautiful voice on the radio, or not on the radio, but I think you are going to come here very soon, right? Within a week or so, and
Right, I will,
re-record
and re-record the
the
introduction.
introduction of open
Right.
forum. Right. Let me know if you need help here. I'm not going to say a
Absolutely.
word
No, no, no,
when you
absolutely.
speak, but anyway, the other folks are the expert in their CPAs, and they are expert in accounts filing taxes. Swapan Dharyawan, who has been involved in a lot of activities in the city of Houston. He doesn't need any introduction. So does Mahesh Desai. He has been also in the Houston community for a long time. And Rimple Mashruwala. Uh, Quite a name, huh? Rimple Mashruwala.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, I'm meeting you for the first time. And so it's Smriti. But welcome to Open Forum, all three of you. So let's start talking about the personal income taxes. That's he was talking about. The first and basic, who really needs to file a tax? Any one of you guys.
Everyone needs to look at their income and the document that they received from the government. However, if you did not receive your stimulus payment, then I encourage that you file the taxes and claim your stimulus. If the government doesn't have your bank information or where you live or where they should send you the money, then they cannot send you. So even if you have a zero income, you can file a tax return to claim your stimulus.
Wow. So there is no limit. So there is no 20,000, 30,000 that you should not file a tax return.
No, if you don't file the tax return, the government doesn't know and government cannot send you the money.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Very, very interesting. Actually, I have a question for you guys. I mean, I wanted to ask you, I know with the potential rise in the capital gain tax as proposed by Biden to, I think, 43.5%, how can it be legally avoided if it happens? And even so, at the current 20%, I mean, what would you say about it?
Well, you have to look at it, your overall tax situations. I mean, basically, you have to plan and the 20%, and there are three rates for the capital gain tax, 0%, 15%, and 20%. If your income is going to be higher, then you should hold off selling the assets that is going to generate capital gain and sell the assets in a year in which you have a lower income, so you fall into 15%. If you have a $80,000 or less income, joint income, then you will pay zero capital gain tax. That's what I'm talking about, long-term capital gain, not the short-term. Short-term is taxed at a regular income. So you can plan and minimize the taxes, and there is nothing wrong in planning the taxes.
Absolutely. You want to add anything,
Yes,
Rimple?
I would always encourage taxpayer to find someone who in their family who's in a one of this lower tax bracket and take
Right.
advantage of the 0% capital gain tax rate.
But this is sometimes it's easier said than done.
Correct.
Because particularly when this capital gain comes into the picture, you really do not know. I mean, even if you constantly keep on looking, when the time comes of selling it, thinking that, hey, listen, this is the right decision that I'm making of selling it, even though the person that was selling it, they know that they might have to pay a little more capital gain tax. But sometimes circumstances are such that they cannot hold on and they have to sell it. I'm not talking about short selling. I mean, short one, but even there, so how do you really plan it to hold off not selling it?
Well, if you
So-
have,
Over here, I would like to say one more thing is uncertainty,
Right.
which is the big question which is happening in this entire gamut of things. When the Tax Jobs and Cuts Act was passed in 2017, the Trump tax cuts, which is called, that gave a sunset, and it was until 2025.
Correct.
So people knew how
2025.
to plan.
Right.
Now all those things are out of the window. Let me tell you, Jagat bhai. So that's what it comes to. There is no predictability in doing anything. So today, when I sit with any of my clients or for planning, my immediate statement is whatever I am stating it today, that's for today. don't hold on to me because something is going to happen in DC.
Exactly.
I cannot be able to tell you what's going to happen. So
Right.
that's what the big thing is. So we have to we have to consider that element in the entire gamut of things.
Absolutely. I'm 100% with you.
So I'm not, I mean, okay, I'm kind of not clear about it. When you said that, you can reduce it to 0%, is that what you said?
Well, no, it's not. You cannot reduce it to 0% if your income is less, $80,000 or less, and the capital gain tax rate is 0% on a capital gain. So let's say your income is 70,000 and you have a $10,000 capital gain. So your income does not exceed 80,000. So on that $10,000 capital, long-term capital gain, you don't have to pay the tax. It's a 0% tax.
I see.
Did you understand that? Don't nod it. Just ask,
No, I mean,
ask again.
I thought you could, I do what I had heard, and this is from some of the CPAs and the financial planners that I talk to, or somebody that I collaborate with, and he does it for me. He had said that they are able to avoid it. I mean, to a 0%.
If you have a capital loss or carry forward losses and you offset with the capital gain, yeah, you can do that. So it's not something like you can search the solution on the Google.
Right.
You have to look at your history. You have to, I mean, if you can do everything on the Google, then all the doctors.
This is not, what I was trying to tell you was this is one of the CPAs. I never do my taxes myself anyway. I would dare not do that. I would just mess up quite a bit. And that's why I think the specialty for you guys is,
There are a lot of folks out there that the way that you people, the CPS describe it, they really don't look at it. That I know a lot of folks that, I mean, they're having certain asset and then naturally they invested such a heavily into the market and earning a lot of capital gains. Sometimes it comes to a point, so hell with it, I'll pay the whatever taxes that I need to pay. Is that something that people think about? Rimple, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it is all about timing. Timing is everything, I would say, in capital gains. Because if your stocks are making gains and you will not be able to get that in future, then it's all about timing.
Limper, if I knew the timing, I would have been a billionaire right now.
Anybody knew that timing. I mean, the question is, people have put their houses on market. People, I mean, like before all of this, and I think it's probably time for them. And I think it's just a different. You can't control
everything,
right? I mean, that's not in your control. But I'm sure there are some loopholes, or there is something that you can do.
Yeah. So on that point, you made a very good point. Most of the people know that they are going to retire and they have to withdraw from their 401k.
Correct.
And they are sitting on $1 million plus 401k balance.
Right.
They are thinking that, oh, I have saved this, I will withdraw. But they don't realize that their tax rate is going to go up.
Exactly.
And
because that withdrawal is income, part of an income.
Part of income. And because of that, they will pay higher Medicare premium on
True.
Part B and
Very
Part D and everything. So, and then their Social Security will be taxable. So it's not something that it is not known to them, but they claim that, oh, no, it's not going to affect me. I'm going to be immune from this. There is some special legislation going to be, for me, that will exempt me from all the taxes.
So my question is, you brought that up. Can you just explain the audience about the RMDs and the stretch IRAs?
Wow,
what the rules have changed on that?
Yeah.
Something a little bit changed, whatever.
Okay. So the RMD age has gone up to 72, and mainly because people are living longer and they continue to work until later part of their life. So you don't have to withdraw the minimum required distribution. You don't have to begin until the age of 72. And the biggest change that government made was, if I can explain, Jagat Bhai can retire with $1 million and he can.
I'm retired already.
He's already.
Okay. Yeah. So Jagat Bhai,
10 years back.
Jagat Bhai can change the beneficiary to his grandkids, and the grandkids are younger and they can keep on accumulating the money into that. So the government realized that this is not why we created the IRA or 401k. IRA or 401k was supposed to be for using their retirement. And we see that people are accumulating the money, tons of money into the 401k. And unless they take it out, the
because we do not know how to spend it.
Yeah, because we are all spending less than making.
Only Smriti knows how to
I don't know about that one.
Vehicle, UCD vehicle.
Yeah, so they got rid of this thing, and now you have to withdraw your 401k or Roth balance in 10 years within last. I mean, after you die, you within 10 years you have to empty out. So then the government will get their share of the taxes.
Okay, so going back to what I was saying about capital gain taxes, can it be deferred?
Yeah, if you do 1031 exchange, it can be deferred. Yeah, it can be deferred. Yeah, but deferred means it's not that you are not paying. You have to pay at a later date. You are going to pay at some time.
I know, but I'm just saying for right now, can you defer it?
Yes.
There is a provision.
And so somebody asked me about all the stimulus, and I told them very jokingly that, okay, this is like a credit card. You know, credit card money, when it comes to you, you feel, oh, wow, I got $50,000 of line of credit. You can use it, but then you have to realize that you are going to pay for it.
Who is going to pay for it?
Yeah, so there's all the stimulus money and everything. Your grandkids, or their kids, somebody has to pay whatever the deficit federal government is running.
I see. So, I mean, you're saying the only way to defer it is by 1031? Is that it?
Yeah, you can defer it for now, but when you sell the second assets, when you acquire, doing in the 1031 exchange, that is the time it comes back.
Okay.
I would like to
Yeah,
add.
go ahead.
I would like to add. There's also qualified opportunity zone
Yes.
investment, which is also tax deferred, and to a certain extent, it's tax free also. But you just have to find the right investment.
Vehicle on that.
Very
That's a
true.
new thing which has
So-
happened.
Right.
Okay, can you give an example of that?
It's an investment in a certain low and underlying areas which government has defined and listed on their website.
Right.
And if you make certain investment, qualified investment in those areas, then you can actually defer and not pay capital gain taxes to a certain extent.
That rule is till 2024.
Yes.
Sunsetting.
Yes.
Sunsetting.
Okay.
So sunset. Okay. And
Right.
how about
Sunset.
business? Yeah. Now, how about business sale? I mean-
Business sale, yeah, you have to just go through part and parcel of all the rules and regulations for business, but that cannot be used as to kind of avoid or defer capital gains.
So now we are onto this, the IRAs and stretch IRAs, Roth IRAs, and then apparently, just like the Swapan said, that everything is going to be sunset at some point is going to go away. Is Roth IRA the best vehicle at this time? As far as if you have certain amount of asset, then would it be, for example, someone has a defined benefit plan, from his own business or from the companies, and you have sizable investment in it and an asset in it. So would it be advisable, instead of drawing RMD at a certain age, 70 and a half, so basically 71, maybe it's 72, like you said at this time, would it be advisable to convert that asset into a Roth IRA? Of course, you'll have to pay a lot of taxes up front, though. But would it be advisable?
So Roth IRA it's an excellent way to save money after taxes, right? So basically, it gives you a tax-free money when you retire. So an excellent vehicle, because when you retire, you basically have the entire pool of money which you've already paid taxes on.
Right.
And there's no RMD required.
Right.
So that's also another added benefit to it. As long as you can pay taxes and convert your regular IRA into Roth IRA, and you don't mind paying taxes
Yes,
now,
you don't
then
mind paying
later,
taxes. That's the
then-
key.
yeah,
You have to pay
exactly.
it.
Right, you have to pay the taxes
Yeah,
in
and
front.
then it's not a bad idea to kind of pay taxes now than
Right.
later. Sometimes it results in a better overall investment planning than just avoiding taxes or deferring taxes.
Smriti, this is good for you.
Yeah.
Roth IRA,
Yeah.
sitting on a lot of assets, and so.
Jagat, how do you know that?
I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing.
Just kidding.
And another good advantage of conversion, after conversion, if you held the assets for 5 years in a Roth account,
Right.
then all the appreciation on the gain
Right.
is tax-free. So it helps you.
Right.
However, you have to see that when you want to convert, if you convert in one lump sum, $1 million, you are going to be pushed up into a highest tax bracket. So
Correct.
you may have to just think and say, okay, should I do it in the last 5 years or 4 years or 3 years? depending on your other income level.
If people are sitting, if people are
Right.
listening, and if we are literally they're sitting on a asset which is a pretty good asset, then this is the time with 33% maximum rate on taxes. I would rather go at this time. If Biden tax rate goes into becomes a law, which I doubt that it would become a law, then if it does become a law, then you're talking about 36%. So you'll be paying a little more at that time.
Well, at least for Texas, we are fortunate we don't have a state income tax. But if you are living in California
California
or
or
New York, you
or
are
few other
looking at
states, right.
you are looking at very high tax rates. So
Correct.
that's number one. Number two is that the Biden has proposed only the capital gain taxes as of now, and that's also he's going to say something lay out in next week when he addressed the joint session of
Right.
the Congress, and we'll come to know more details about it. But keep in mind that with this current rate of borrowing and the debt level, the taxes are going to go up. That's
Right.
for sure. So you have to plan and say, okay, for every dollar of income, whether it is conversion or the income earned, should I pay 35 cents, 36 cents, or am I better off paying 35 cents, or I should pay 40 cents or 41 cents?
Correct.
Whenever it happens. So if you have a chance, you can convert it and pay 35, 37 cents and just
and just sleep happily.
yeah, sleep happily as long as nobody thinks about taxing the Roth. I
Right.
mean, that's
Exactly.
the fear
Listen,
that
that's anything can change. Okay. There is no certainty as far as taxes are concerned.
So with that, Rimple, do you want to let us know the little bit small changes which have happened in the unemployment side, the taxability side of that, and the premium tax credits which have happened, and all those changes which affected right in the middle of the tax season on March the 1st for all of us, and we were like caught unawares, and all those changes had to be reflected. Can you?
Yes, definitely. So let's talk about the premium tax credit first. So up until now, we were supposed to, like people who took the
Obamacare.
insurance from Obamacare had to pay certain amount of premium tax
Premium
credit
subsidy.
back when they file their return if they find out their income is higher than the 400% or more of the poverty line. So with the American Rescue Plan, they have removed the payment of the premium tax credit back to the government. So technically, there is when you go and file your return, and if you see that there's a premium tax credit that you have to pay back, you should ask your tax preparer, hold on to filing your return and see if you really need to pay back, and check your return twice.
And the unemployment.
And then there is also government has exempted the first 10,500 of unemployment income as tax free. So if your income exceeds a certain threshold, then I think the magic number is 150,000. If your income exceeds that number, then all your unemployment income will be taxable, unfortunately.
Good. So, Mahesh bhai,
yes.
can you tell the audience a little bit about the CARES Act and the second PPP or something like that, which has come for self-employed or something like that?
Yeah. So the PPP rollout was, in the word of the SBA director, was they were asked to SBA was asked to fly the plane when it was being built, and so when we did this webinar and the seminars, the government, by the time we did this, they changed the rules, and now we have some second PPP and EIDL. So people in the business, people are getting the PPP money. Self-employed person can claim up to 100,000 of income, and they are getting about $20,000 or so the PPP money. And if you use that PPP money for the wages or the listed expenses like rent and utilities, then they are forgiving. The forgiveness process is a little bit slow, but it is coming. The second PPP just started, and also EIDL, Economic Injury Disaster Loan at 3.75% for 30 years. It's something, a good extended line of credit from the US government. And so it's helpful. So I would say the government took a real good steps instead of sending money in a helicopter and people trying to grab that money. They are sending it to the businesses and affected people. And in a way, they are trying to avoid the depression and
Right.
keep these things
You mean
going.
the targeted areas?
Targeted areas. Yeah, they have a couple of other like such a venue, the restaurant, and all those things. So there are a lot of programs that government is realizing and pushing it. So I would say
Yeah.
I have never seen any other country's government doing so much for the US
Right.
taxpayer.
You are so right about that.
Right.
We always say to most of my clients and all around that we are blessed that we are in this country. The way in which the administration rolled up their sleeves way in March of 2020 and started this program. And as you rightly said, the SB director had mentioned that statement about this.
True.
The way in which they did their loans, Jagat Bhai, in the first almost 60 to 65 days, they did loans which normally SBA could have taken almost 18 years to do it.
Oh
kind
my
of thing.
God.
So that were the volume of the loans that they
Right.
were able to disperse.
Wow.
Almost $349
Uh,
billion.
Well, that's you are absolutely right that we are blessed that we are in this country. No question about it. Folks, this is open forum. Number here to call is 800-444-1061. The lines are open for anyone to call in. Again, that number is 1-800-444-1061. Give us a call if any question you have, please. We have three wonderful and excellent CPAs sitting here in the studio. You can ask any questions related to your personal finances, personal tax, or even if you have a business questions, please give us a call. Again, that number is 1-800-444-1061. And this hour is sponsored by Chamber of Commerce, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce of Greater Houston. And every Saturday, last Saturday of the month, it's a Business Connect hour, and which is sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce. So folks, give us a call. Meanwhile, we will just keep on talking here.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there were some changes made to the earned income tax credit and also the child dependent care credit. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, sure. So, earned income tax credit is available to low income taxpayers, and they've increased the limits, they've increased the phase out range, so more people will qualify. And also, there's a look back period for the earned income tax credit, which is if you can't qualify based on your 2020 income for the credit, then you can take your 2019 income and see if that makes you qualified for the earned income tax credit.
So
It's an
jumping into
excellent
that, a follow-up question. There is something which is happening about the child tax credit, and the window of that is opening up on July the 1st. The Treasury Secretary is mentioning that it's a difficult job to do that.
Right.
But let's see how it goes. Can you just do a
Sure.
quick 30 seconds on that?
So they have increased the child tax credit to 3,000 per child instead of
And it's advance.
Yes, it will be in advance. 50% of which will be in advance, which government will start distributing beginning July, and IRS will have their own portal, which will open up soon. You can
Wow.
go in and opt out or make changes, and see if you want to get that 50% in advance from July onwards. But again, this will all play out and reconcile on your 2021 income tax return when you file next year.
So talking about these portals and all these things, can you just share a couple of things about the security levels and everything which has happened, and the random calls which we get from the IRS, and the random notices and the emails that we get, or something like that you want to?
I think I just heard yesterday in the news that they are manually processing millions of returns that they've flagged, which was just recently filed, because of all these changes that's happening, and they want to make sure that people are actually getting the right credit. So a lot of people will see delays in their refunds because of this reason, because IRS, as such, they're short staffed.
Correct.
And on top of this, you take so many returns to process manually. They're just stretched thin right now.
Let me ask you, it's a little curious because what I keep on hearing from a lot of folks is that it's so difficult to talk to IRS right now. So are you guys being a CPA Are you calling them, or how do you communicate with IRS?
Well, this is what I would say. On the security and fraud level, I want to make a very humble request to the listeners that IRS never calls. Remember this thing. IRS never calls. They never
You are
ask.
so right.
They never send a text message and say, okay, send this gift card or send this money order or whatever.
Correct.
IRS always sends a couple of notices. When you don't respond, then they will get a certified mail. And probably that may be a time you should seriously start looking at your situation. So that's number one. Number two, responding to Jagatji's question about reaching out the IRS. Yes, the IRS has established a practitioner's professional line. So when we call them, we can get a responsible officers. However, there is a delay. We normally don't get anybody, live body person before 15, 20, 30 minutes. So that is the issue because most of the IRS employees are working from home and they have a limited access to the system. And so IRS computer system needs a big upgrade, massive upgrade, and they are working. They are working on it. But because of this COVID situation, it has been postponed. And I hope that they will bring their system into 21st century.
Go ahead.
Okay. I have a question. So I do my FBAR report. So I have some foreign income credit too. So what are some of the implications for the corp to have income from foreign source? Or, obviously the FBAR filings, can you tell me, will it make any difference, or with the global intangible low tax as well?
Along with that, talking about a lot of Indians have a lot of holding in India, for that matter, either a heritage home, which comes to you, or a heritage house, or some other investment. If you are still holding it, what are the implications, and how do you show it here? And if you sell it, and then naturally you are going to make a profit out of it. So then how do you end that particular transaction on American side?
So Jaganji, I'll answer your question in a minute, but to answer her question, FBAR, yeah, you still have to file it. If you are U.S. citizen resident living in United States and you have a worldwide income, you have to file the FBAR, foreign bank account report, if you have more than 10,000 US dollar balance at any time. So that's number one. Number two, to answer Jagatji's questions, yes, when you have the asset sale in India, now based on the India's tax laws, you have to file the tax return, you pay the taxes, you get your money into NRO, non-resident ordinary account.
You mean you file taxes in India?
Yes,
Okay.
you file the taxes in
Actually,
India.
yeah, that's true. I do file my taxes in India and I get the credit there. But
You
can
get
take it
the
out.
No,
credit
but you have
here.
to show it here, then you get a credit.
Yeah, you have to show.
Yeah.
But you have
Yeah.
to show it.
But
Right.
you have to show that. That's the
Yeah,
income tax that you show.
So in order to claim the credit, you have to file the taxes there.
Right.
You have to bring the money if you want to bring it. If you don't bring it there, then you will continue to be taxed on the NRO interest income or wherever you invest that money. So you have an ongoing, continuing obligations to file FBAR, as well as if the assets are more than $100,000, then you have to file another disclosures. So you have some obligations because the US government wants to tax all the worldwide income, and that is the issue. And now with this enforcement, if you Google, there are so many cases and they are finding out so much money in Liechtenstein or Panama and Caribbean island and wherever, Hong Kong and
St. Lucia.
yeah, St. Lucia overseas.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Cayman Island.
Cayman Island, yeah. So the issue is becoming now the global cooperation between the US government and other countries is the sharing of the information is revealing those identity. And if you are got into that system, then you will have a very severe implication. So my request is just pay attention to it.
So going back to both the pointers that you mentioned,
Right.
Jagat Bhai, and of course Mahesh Bhai has covered regarding the IRS. There was a recent tax strip from the IRS, April the 19th.
Mhm.
The do's and the don'ts for the taxpayers
Mhm.
who get letter or notice. It says, don't ignore it,
Right.
don't panic, do read the notice, respond it timely, pay the amount which is due, and keep a copy of the notice. Remember, no need to call the IRS,
Right.
but avoid any scams.
Absolutely.
So these are the important things. And if you are a victim of any scam or anything like that, IRS has a particular email ID,
You're right.
phishing, that is phishing
Right. Fishing.
at
Right.
irs.gov. You can just forward that because there are enforcement agencies, the
Right.
CIDs, and everything like that
Right.
who act upon that. You might feel that it's just another scam, but it's better to have those forwarded across because there is a big, huge dark web out over there. And we, as responsible citizens, we need to make sure that the data exactly goes away. The
Right.
Right. And not only that, the statement that Maheshji made was that, hey, IRS would never call on you. They will always write you a letter. So, there are a lot of people keep on calling, and somehow or other, I don't understand that. Why do we succumb to this highly educated community,
They,
quote unquote, and even then we succumb to it?
they are so psychologically fearful that I want to just share what Papanji said. I had one day, one client came in and he brought 6 unopened envelope, and there were 2 certified mail notices. And I said, why you didn't open it? He says, no, I'm scared. I said, there is no snake in it. IRS doesn't send you snake.
Exactly.
Just open it. It's a piece of paper.
Yeah. But there is no powder in it.
I said, no, you open it and you take care of it.
So I think I'm a little unclear about something. I think when you said about FBAR, and so income probably, is that correct? Is what I've heard is income doesn't really in the foreign country doesn't generate to the FBAR, but if you have a deposit of over $10,000 more
yes.
leads to bar. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to clarify. I mean,
Yeah.
you hear 2 different things, and then people say when you generate income over that much
There's a lot of
versus
confusion.
deposit.
There's a lot of
There's
confusion.
always a confusion on that. So basically, reach out to your tax preparer, to
Correct.
specialize your bookkeepers. Don't just Google it around because FBAR is a very big thing. And the chamber got into this tax seminar things way back in 2012 just because of this FBAR, because our community has moved around.
Right.
And people did not know what it was because this has been around in the act for years together.
Correct.
But there was no reporting because people were not aware about that. And that's when the chamber came into play and we started letting people know that
Right.
FBAR, the form 114 has to be filed, reported the income and everything, because the OVDP came up, the other schemes, the amnesty schemes came
Right.
up just to become in compliance of that.
Right.
So one important other new question, which is on your face of your tax return, is about at any time during the year 2020, you did receive, open, or transact in virtual currency or Bitcoin. That's an important question as tax preparers we have to ask and pose to every taxpayer, because 2020 was an anxious and a weird year. People did all sorts of crazy things.
Right.
It saw the best in the people and the worst in the people, let me tell you.
Correct.
So that was the thing it is. So we have to ask this question, because I remember one of the clients, it's can't even dream about having him open an account, and he's maybe 64 years old or whatever, and never, very naive, nothing, plain a person who just had a small business and whatever, and he went into Bitcoin. And fortunately, we did ask him, and he said yes. And I said, where is the statement? We had to report
Oh
that.
my God.
And if I hadn't asked that, if our people hadn't asked that question, he would have had a problem. Because
Yes.
that's a yes or a no question.
Wow.
And also that asset class is full of surprises, and it is not regulated. If you
Yeah,
are
it's not
putting money,
regulated,
if
right.
you are putting money in Bitcoin, make sure that your Bitcoin is secured. You have exchange access, and if you don't know, if you are not computer savvy, don't go and play with the Bitcoin. My suggestion is there are a lot of other asset class that you can invest in.
Exactly.
But the Bitcoin will drive you crazy, and it is so volatile that the Bitcoin price goes up most like 5,
Right.
10, 15% in a day.
I honestly do not know anything about Bitcoin. All I hear is keep on reading in the newspaper and how Tesla and everyone is accepting Bitcoins now, cryptocurrency. And there are a few other cryptocurrencies coming
There
up.
are.
And honestly, I just don't understand anything of it. I just don't.
So
Some people are very good at it, some people don't. But I didn't know that you have to report it,
Yeah, like everything else.
Yeah,
I mean,
like-
you
yeah.
like everything else.
But I
you've
didn't know
got to
that. I
report it,
honestly did
right?
not know that.
it's a property.
Yeah.
So any gain that you make, and I think most people don't know that when they go and buy something using their Bitcoin, it's taxable event. So you have to report the gain on that sale of the Bitcoin on that day. So even
That's
if I
correct.
use
But the
$10
Bitcoin is not a
and
physical entity, right?
it's not, it's a property as
Right.
defined by IRS.
Right. Oh, really?
It's a property that you cannot see and touch. It's invisible.
So, so as we are talking about that, can you tell us, Mahesh bhai, something about the solar tax credit? Because it's a beautiful day out over there.
Yeah. So is you ask Rimpalji about the earned income tax credit and other low income tax credits. So many times the client asks me, okay, so government is giving all this credit to the lower income. What is in it for us? So we are paying a lot of taxes. And my standard response to them is that, sir, you are in a fortunate positions. You have this solar tax credit that you get 26%. You can put your roof on the roof. You can put a solar cell, so you will have a free electricity, free gas, and everything. If you, I mean, air conditioning, yeah, 26% credit. And also on top of that, if you really want to help this nation in a pollution and you eat away some carbon, you can buy a electric vehicle, EV. If you buy electric vehicle, and as long as you have that $7,500 credit available, you can get 7,500 from the US government if you have a tax license, you have a tax liability because you are higher income. So you can have the both benefit by having a higher income. You get a credit against your taxes. You can drive Tesla or any other electric vehicle, and there are so many coming out. So Tesla has run out of the credit because they sold. Once the vehicle is sold more than 200,000, yeah, they're giving, but it's like $1,400. But if you go like out, I mean, ID4, Volkswagen, or many other, yeah, so many other are coming. Many other are coming up. Everybody will get that $7,500 credit, and you can get 26% of your solar installation cost.
Sure.
Hi, go ahead, please.
Go ahead.
Hello, go ahead, please. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Yeah, please go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I sold one of my property and had gained capital in about $1 million capital gain. And my question is,
You can-
if I spend, buy some
Right.
other, I bought some investment, for the $1 million, I spent about $500,000. So do I have to pay tax on $1 million or balance amount of 500? The capital gain. Sir.
Can you repeat the question here, please?
No. My question is, I have gained $1 million
Okay.
after depreciation, the net $1 million capital gain.
Okay.
My question is, I spend 500,000 in different business, So
Okay.
I'm left with the 500. Do I have to pay capital gain on 500 or $1 million?
Okay, so you spend $500 on what? $500,000 on what?
I purchased the business.
So did you do the 1031 exchange, or you just bought a brand new business?
I did. No, I did 1031 exchange, but I didn't found that property. Didn't go through.
Okay, so
I
you
have
did
to end
not.
up with the money in my bank.
Okay, so you did not. You did not find the property within the stipulated time. That's what you are saying. So it was not a qualified 1031 exchange, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then you have to pay the taxes because you did not meet the requirement to do the 1031 exchange.
Yeah, I know. I got that. But my question is, from that $1 million, I bought some other business,
Yeah.
after the 1031 exchange time.
Yeah,
So my question.
Yeah, so my answer is this: you have to pay the tax on $1 million capital gain because the 1031 exchange did not qualify. And so you cannot exclude that 500,000 investment that you made because you did not close the second property in a stipulated time to be a qualified 1031 exchange.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha. Thank you very much.
So is
Thank you.
1031 allowed on business?
Yeah, on all assets.
Yeah, property.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have any other question?
No, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
So I know in healthcare, I mean, as a dentist or as a physician, do we qualify for the R&D credit? And what would you say? I'm just going to ask you that question.
Okay, so I will give you a very short answer.
That's fine.
There are so many R&D tax credit consultant. They somehow know much better than us how to make certain process innovations or a certain technology, a quote unquote, a novel or new technology
Okay.
that meets the requirement of the Internal Revenue Service Code to qualify for the tax credit.
I see.
Because anytime a client tell me that, okay, I do so and it should qualify for R&D credit, I will say that the burden of proving is on you. And if you don't know everything and you just say that, okay, it qualifies, I cannot take your word for it. So go to the consultant, have them evaluate, and then we'll take the report and work on
Right.
for you to claim the R&D credit.
Let's go to the caller here. Hello, you are
I
on
have a
air.
question to, yes.
Yeah, go ahead,
Thank you,
please.
Jagat.
Yeah.
I have a question. My question is that is it advisable in this situation to do a 1031 or is it advisable like before the Biden administration came in, it was always favorable for all the people in the real estate to do a 1031. So moving forward, what should be the strategy of the investors in real estate? Should they avoid 1031 or is it still lucrative to do a 1031?
So as of today, the rules of TCGH still apply until something happens with the Biden administration, which changes this loophole or changes the threshold. They will not close out the loophole. They will actually change the threshold who might be able to qualify. And that is something that you have to look in for. Did I answer your question? Mahesh, you want to add something? You said?
So I would say this, sir, that in a rush to do the 1031 exchange, don't pick up a property that is not worth investing in it. And I have,
I get it.
so I have seen that, I have seen that in order to avoid paying the capital gain taxes, you find a property that is not worth investing it and you invest it and then you regret. So the first issue has to be the underlying property that you are acquiring should meet your test and it should be a profitable one. I mean, you should be able to turn around it
It
into a
should
profitable
make business
one.
sense.
Yeah,
That's
business
what it
sense.
is.
Yeah.
It should make your business sense. Okay.
No, I get it. My question is that does it need a Senate majority vote to get into the change the law, or is it the administration on the president level can do it? That's what my question is.
Well,
For
this
the
is
new
how
tax
I
law.
will say the House and Senate both has to approve it and then the president has to sign
Sign it.
off. So it's not something the president can unilaterally declare that this is the rate going to be. So don't worry about it. Until the law is passed, we cannot say for sure what is going to be.
Yeah, unless the government, the Congress uses reconciliation process, I don't think that they are going to do that. And I don't think that one has to worry about as far as the taxes is concerned in a short time. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah,
So
there is one more question. So can I ask?
hold on just a minute. Hold on just a minute.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, repeat it again.
Okay, my second question is, so any property which was inherited, so like my parents, if they passed away and I inherited that property in India, and if I get that money, I'm still liable to pay the taxes here, since the property was inherited, though I'm paying my taxes back home in India.
Yes. Eventually, if you sell it, eventually, if you sell that property that you inherited, so keep that in mind. Important thing is that you need to, the death of death has to be kind of valued. You need to have that good valuation done on that. And say, suppose that was the year 2019 that you inherited, that valuation of that is X amount, whatever that is.
Right.
And you are selling that in the year 2021 at X plus 5 or X plus 2 for that matter. There will be a capital gain eventually on that, on the death of value that will become your basis, and the sales price will be your X plus 2, whatever that is. Did I
Okay.
get
Yeah,
clarify
yeah,
your
yeah.
matter?
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
yes. You explained it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we have a next caller as well, Jagat bhai?
Yes, yes.
Okay, hello. Hello, you are on air.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, can you?
Open
Okay,
forum.
so मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है
हाँ जी बताइए.
कि मैं लास्ट हिंदी चलेगा?
हाँ हाँ चलेगा ना, बताइए, कोई भी भाषा चलेगा.
Okay, so last year मैं एक इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल खरीदा, यूज्ड व्हीकल खरीदा.
हाँ जी.
Will I qualify for any tax credit this year?
Which model?
And what car? did
What
they
car it
sell
was?
out?
And it was a used car, so he will not qualify, right? Because the
Yes,
first credit
has
has
to be
already been
used.
used by someone else, so you will not
Has to be
qualify
new.
since it's a used car.
अच्छा, so there will be no benefit for.
आपको benefit
used
नहीं
car.
रहेगी, नहीं, because वो first benefit जो है already 7,000 का किसी ने ले लिया.
And also the dealer
Acha.
gives you the certificate of original purchase. So you can qualify.
Oh, okay. Okay, so sir, मेरे को एक और question
हाँ
है.
जी बताइए.
The second question is, आप you were saying something about solar के लिए 24% मिलेगा.
26%.
So can you put it in an example? For example, like a family of 100,000 earning a year, suppose. वो लोगों ने अगर 10,000 खर्च किया, ऐसा एक्सप्लेनेशन करेंगे तो मेरे को समझ में आएगा.
जरूर. Mahesh bhai, can you explain that the solar tax credit,
So
the family is making 90,000. Now they have spent on the solar, that's about say 1.2 kilowatts, which is costing them say $10,000. So how does that?
okay, so on $90,000 you will have some tax liability, so you have to pay to the government. Against that, you will get the credit, and the credit is calculated like this: the 26% of $10,000 that you paid in, you will get that $2,600 money, and that will be offset your net payment. I mean, you have to pay the taxes minus 2,600, so you will pay less taxes.
यानी आपका 90,000 का अगर आपकी इनकम है, आपका टैक्स बन जाता है सपोज $5,000 जो आप IRS को ओ करते हो, बट आपने सोलर टैक्स क्रेडिट ले लिया है 10,000 का, तो 2,600 जो है वो माइनस हो जाएगा, कम हो जाएगा, तो आप 2,400 पे करोगे IRS को. ओके, हेलो हेलो, ड्रॉप आई थिंक सो. यस जगत भाई. Hello, open forum, you are on there? Hello?
Haji, hello.
Haji, fully open forum, you are on there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Haji, go ahead.
Haji. Okay, so I just wanted to, I think it's confirmed now, but because RMD has been changed from 70.5 to 71.5, correct?
72, yes.
Yes. So what's the recommendation on?
You're cutting off.
I'm losing you. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello? I don't know what happened.
Yeah, please give
Hello?
us a call back. Oh, there's somebody on.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I have a Mattel, and how much depreciation can I get on it?
motel.
each year?
He has a motel.
He has a motel, and what depreciation he's
depreciation
looking
you
up for. Now the assets. Can you just tell
Yeah,
them how the
so,
assets you are going to split that and how that's
So on the assets that you acquire, you can get a depreciation, and also if you put a solar roof, you will still get that credit if you have a.
no. How much depreciation?
How much is
Motel.
so the asset
Okay.
Let's say I have a 6 million.
6
Let's
million.
say I have a $6 million invested into the motel. How much depreciation can I get on each year?
Okay, so you have to distinguish between the asset class. So you will have a land, you cannot get any depreciation on the land. You will have a building, you can get 39.5 years, straight line depreciation. Plus you will get a depreciation on the furniture, fixture, and all other electrical equipment like air condition and water heater and everything. So you will get that based on the 7-year life. So let's say you put $700,000 of worth of furniture, fixture, and electrical equipment, you can depreciate in 7 years. So you will get $100,000 of depreciation. Now those calculations, we cannot do it on the air. You have to talk to your CPA.
Yeah, but basically just a quick thing. Just since I was doing a tax return just last week, I will just cap because up of 6 million head, I'm not sure how much the asset valuation will be there. But हमने एक 4 million वाली property का जब किया था, उसका almost first year में which was placed in service close to May or June of 2020, तो उनको 500,000 का depreciation मिला. Just to of there, okay? Anything
So
else?
this was done on based on dividing by 39 years?
Yes. The different asset class is there. That's what Mahesh Bhai told you.
Yeah.
So one is land, which is not depreciable. One is building, which is 39 years. Then there's furniture, fixtures, and there are improvements. So those are 7-year class, 15-year class. So it depends on that.
Okay, but somebody told me that in the year one, I can get up to 30% written off by slicing and dicing the building.
So you can get section 179 and bonus depreciation, all those things. So we have to see, and we have to really see your closing statement when you acquire. We have to see your appraisal report, valuing your other assets and everything. So it's something like requires some basic analysis. I cannot just give you the answer that, okay, for $6 million, you should get $1 million of depreciation or $2 million of depreciation. That's not.
So you can
So
always reach out to
saying-
Mahesh Bhai. Mahesh Bhai, your number again, can you give?
Yeah, 281-236-8444.
Or Rimple, can you give your number too?
832-533-2100.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for your call.
Any other call? We're done?
Yes, no, we are not done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, go ahead. Chaturanga, you are on air now.
Yeah, I'm sorry I got dropped out. But anyway,
My mistake.
so what? That's okay, no problem. That's okay, I understand. But the thing is, so what's recommended to take that the RMD at the beginning of the year, or should we postpone till the end of the year? And what are the tax consequences? Because see, if you take beginning of the year, then they're withheld, and you have to pay your taxes up in the
So
in the
Rimple,
first
there was
quarter.
something about the RMDs last year in the CARES Act also, and even now, that if you don't want to, you need not take it. Right?
Until age 72.
Yes.
You can defer it until age 72.
Okay.
By December of the year you turn 72, you have to take the RMD.
Okay.
But wasn't it there something
right.
last year in the law that that you can defer your RMD because of the COVID
By-
situation?
That is who turned 70 and a half already last year. And then they started taking the
Right.
RMD. And those people can defer
Those people can
even
defer
put
it.
back the money until
Okay.
age 72.
Okay.
So, okay, go ahead. Any other question?
So 71 and a half is basically, that was a new ruling that they extended from 70 and a half to 71 and a half. I'm aware of that. But my only question was, should we take that RMD, in the beginning of the first quarter, or defer it to the fourth quarter? That means if you do it for the fourth quarter, then taxes are not due until the first quarter of the following year. Is that still the ruling?
Well, that is true. However, it depends on the amount of RMD that you take. That's number one. Number two, if you think that your investment is going to grow, then you wait until the last day, maybe last few days of the year. So that is another issue. If you think that you need the money to spend to make your living, then you can withdraw in the January, or you can do a equal monthly installments. So you have different options available. The tax is due following year on April 15th. So if you withdraw RMD in a year one, the year two, by April 15th, you have to file the taxes.
Yes. But I'm just saying to defer paying, the first, if you do it in the first quarter, then you'll have to pay immediately. You'll have to pay, the calculation tax. They will take either your brokerage company or whoever where you have the money invested. They will take, if they recommend that you set aside.
Yes, you
whatever
are
tax
right.
bracket
You are right. So we don't know whether you want to take 5,000 from the RMD or 50,000 from the RMD. I mean, as a RMD withdrawal. So if you have a larger amount, you should try to pay the taxes. Okay.
Of course. Oh, okay. Okay. Then my second question follow up. Am I allowed to have two questions?
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
I don't know other people's private, So the second thing is that I've been doing it.
No, Chatawala, go ahead. Time is yours. We'll give you ample time, even if there are calls.
Jagat ji, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. So that's the other thing is just to educate others also that if you want to do charity deductions, you can do it in kind, or you can cash it. Suppose you have after tax money and you sell it, then you get you have to pay 15% or 20% capital gain. But if you do that, if the charity organization, if they are willing to accept in kind, then you can just, pass the gains also to the charity organization.
Yes. Yes. So what's your question? What's your question?
So is that still, I'm just trying to let people know, maybe people are not aware. Some of the institutions are not even aware of this thing, but they can, let the people know that these things are available. I'm just trying to.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes,
actually, one more thing which was new was above the line, even this year because of COVID, what used to happen was charities, some people who were in the lower tax group or middle tax group, since their standard deduction is what they were taking, they did not qualify because of the itemized deduction in charities.
Yes.
There is a $300 that you can take above the line deduction if it is a cash donations kind of. So that is allowed at the moment. The second thing was about Rimple was mentioning about the qualified charitable deductions as well. Can you just?
Yes, QCD is it called, and it's
QCD.
Yeah, exactly. You can take your IRA instead of taking required minimum distribution. You can donate those amounts
to your favorite charity.
And take a deduction. Actually, not having
not
to report income at all.
Yes.
So
Correct.
no worries about taking the deduction as well. So it will not get reported on your 1040.
So you can directly donate it from your
Directed to
RMD.
the charity.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Correct.
Jagat.
Yes,
Your
I'm aware
fidelity,
of
you
that.
just have
Yes,
to call your fidelity and let them know that transfer it to ICC.
And that meets
Absolutely.
the RMD requirement.
Right.
So
Yes, okay.
just to clarify, the charity organizations, if they do not have the brokerage account, they cannot accept the asset in kind. So if you want to sell the appreciated Google stock, if you want to donate the appreciated Google or Apple stock, and you do not want to pay the capital gain tax, you want to transfer them in kind, you can do that, but the charity has to be equipped to receive those things.
Yes.
Yeah.
I understand that. And that's what, where this, this media, I'm just letting the charity organizations who are not doing this. And I've done this in the past and educated other organizations, and they have done it. And now people are, because the stock market was bullish the whole year and people have made money. So I'm suggesting take this avenue. This way you can, pass on the saving, the income to the, and you can save on taxes also. And then the QCD is a good one that I'm aware of that one also. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. So we will be winding up shortly. Jagat Bhai, if you have anything more on that, you can ask. And Rimple, can you just tell us a little bit more about the ERC, the Employee Retention Tax Credit, which people are talking about? A little bit on the business side, but not the in-depth kind of a thing.
They have extended the employee retention tax credit all the way until the end of this year. And businesses can get if they qualify, they can get certain deductions on the wages paid to the qualified employees.
Mahesh bhai, you were mentioning something about earlier restaurant revitalization program or something. Do we have something on that?
Yeah. So there are two new programs that came out, shuttered venue and the targeted restaurant. So not the restaurant on the Hillcroft or on 610 will qualify because they are open. However, if you go to the interior part of the America, there are so many small restaurants, they were completely shut down. And so in order to revitalize those areas, the government came out with a fund, especially in certain neighborhood, that they can get the funding for it. So that's number one. Number two, this shuttered venue is like places like New York and Nashville, where the music shows and the other musical and other talented show goes on. They were completely shut down. The employer let go the employees, and they are in a very difficult situation because they don't know whether they will be open and they will be able to open at all, or if they will be open when. And when they open, how many people will be there? So for them, government has come out with some shuttered venue grant, and that grant doesn't have to be paid. So those two programs are available. They just rolled out. They are trying to identify the sick code, and then they will roll out the money.
But Mahesh, I was just wondering, there's a program which is coming up uh, for the restaurants only. On SBA is going to be on open forum within a week's time now, talking just about the restaurant. Does it mean that the restaurant on Hillcroft would not get any money out of it?
Well, the key criteria is that your revenue, the SBA is saying that your revenue has to drop. So for example, for the second PPP, the revenue as compared to the previous quarter, you have to see the drop.
How much is 25%, 50,
yeah.
25%?
Yeah. So if your revenue did not drop as much and you continue to survive because you were in a lucky situation, or you had a very good locations, then you don't meet those threshold to get the loan or the grant. So you have to just make sure that you have the proper records, you are qualifying, you are meeting the program guideline, and then you are doing everything by the book. So that way the loan is forgiven. I mean, many people are.
It's a grant. Right?
Yeah. I mean, grant or PPP, which is essentially you have to go through the forgiven process. Forgiving process. Right. And if unless it is forgiven, it stands, you owe the US government that much money.
Exactly. At 1%.
Yeah, I honestly didn't. I thought that that everybody probably can qualify to get some money.
It is every restaurant qualifies. Only requirement is lost revenue. If they lost revenue between 2019 to 2020, they will qualify.
But okay, let me ask you.
Regardless of the area, regardless of everything. I see.
You work hard and continue to survive and make profit,
then you don't qualify.
Exactly.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
There you go, man. There you go. But many of the restaurants, if you look at it, some of them, they survived. Some of them, they had a very difficult time in 2019 and 20 particularly. And now, of course, the Texas has opened up and they're probably income is going up, business is going up. With that scenario, I think that some of those restaurants on Hillcroft should be able to qualify.
Yeah, so I have not seen the entire guideline, but as you said, the SBA will be here next week, so we'll love to hear from them.
We'll defer that to Tim Jeffcott. He is the master on that, so we'll defer that to that. But Jagat bhai, as you were saying earlier, most of us like Mahesh bhai, Rimple, myself, we did the PPP 1 also, and we did a few of the PPP 2 also. So the comparison is just now as he said, if we had done 100 cases of PPP 1, we did only 30 cases of PPP 2. That's what it is, because businesses we see and we saw that some of the businesses had the traction, some of the businesses were really into the trenches kind of a thing. So it depends on what industry you are serving. So that's what I would say about the PPP1, PPP2. The same thing would go for restaurant. Yes, Rimple, go ahead.
I would like to add to many Schedule C filers who don't know, they could still qualify for PPP round one, which is open. And many of the individuals and small business owners, they don't have the facts that or knowledge about this. So they can still apply for PPP one. Just does before the funds run out. I would suggest and
May
advise
31st?
them.
And when is the
May
deadline?
31st?
May 31st, they've extended it to 2 more months until May
Okay.
31st, but likely chances that the money will run out before that.
Okay, I know the tax deadline's being postponed, so has the estimated tax payments due, or they have not?
No, they have
still
not.
remain the same.
For 2021, estimated tax deadlines are still April 15, June 15,
I see.
September
I see.
15.
And how about the
January.
corporate taxes? Any,
They are also same.
they're also
There-
same.
there are no
Okay.
changes in that.
Good to know.
Good. Yes, go ahead. We have Bijay as well.
So when we're talking about the PPP1 loan, and I, as a sole proprietorship business, that was one thing that I was discouraged by bankers that, oh, you don't take the salary and this and that, because I follow the cash method.
Right.
That whatever comes in, I spend on whatever expenses
Correct.
and keep track of how much the money coming in from business. So I was discouraged, and recently somebody gave me good advice, and no, they told me exactly these are things you need to fill up, and there's nothing wrong. Like, it's all right. It's just like the matter of thinking. And I got, like, I'm a very small business, so I got
Right.
around like $9,000 in PPP1 loan. The money has not still dropped in my account, but I would like to
Awesome.
emphasize that it did when it came in, the process went through, I got qualified. So I would like to encourage anybody who was in my situation, was discouraged that, okay, no, I'm not going to qualify, I'm too small. Please go ahead and try it. Filling out some paperwork does not hurt or harm you.
You are absolutely right.
So we have over
Absolutely
here
right.
Bijay Dixit, also our official photographer for the Indo-American Chamber of
Right,
Commerce,
man.
and a small
The whole
business
city of
owner.
Houston calls on you.
Exactly. And we know how the business is, and he's one of the businesses which was severely suffered
Right.
because no weddings, no parties,
Right.
no
Correct.
things,
Correct.
no events. That's
Right.
what it is. So, but Bijayji, you want to add up something about the EV? I wanted your comment on that. Why would you take or not take an electric vehicle?
The main
Oh, there you go.
the first thing, I will not take electric vehicle because I like freedom. I like freedom to go anywhere, anytime, any way I like. The gasoline is available everywhere, and I can go in any rural suburb and I still find gasoline to pour in my car and keep driving as long as I want to drive. I feel pity to see when people are, oh my God, I need to find a charging station. And I'm like, I will never be able. Yeah, I'm not saying, I'm not pessimistic that in future I will not buy electric vehicle. I may buy, but right now I am not in support of that.
There is
I-
no
I-
infrastructure for that.
There's
Not much.
infrastructure is still building, and
Building
I
up.
feel like it's very limited, and
Mhm.
it is, if you want a flexibility, and like several times there I see the car stranded on the roadside. They did not pay correct attention. The car was stranded. They had to get it towed, and when it goes into and you have to take it. You cannot just take it to any Jomo's workshop. You have to take it to dealership. Dealership is closed at the 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the night. Now you have to go dump in their lot and then make sure you follow up. So I have seen all that hassle. Our infrastructure is not situated right now for the electric vehicle.
Yeah, not at least in the state of Texas. I don't think it's that well done.
Yes, well,
I think there's certain states which have it, but I completely agree with you. I have a gasoline car, and I'm refusing to switch to an EV. I'll tell you myself. I'm refusing right now. So, but I'm not saying that I will not do it in the future, where we have better system to like do that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, what if you're taking a trip from here to Dallas, Austin, anywhere, and then you have to stop? I mean, it's pretty inconvenient.
I would like to add that I disagree with you all here. we
Oh,
just
more power to you.
we just passed the Earth Day, and I drive Tesla for last 2 years. No problem. Timing and planning is everything. Again, I'm putting my first note. If you just plan out your day and event and schedule, it works. It works for us.
No, that's great. I mean, I think it's an individual choice,
Yes,
but I
of
think
course,
for
yeah.
a lot of us, for the mindset living in Texas
Right.
and
That
long
was
roads and
hard.
long journeys, it
These
is
people,
really
these
hard.
people do not have an open mind.
We can agree to disagree. No, Jagat, come on. We can agree to disagree. Come on. We can definitely do
Okay,
that.
let's
We
go.
don't have open mind. We are on the open forum.
That's the beauty of open forum, that we discuss everything here, right? Right, Smriti?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, no.
yeah,
Back to what you were saying, really. I mean, I have a lot of friends who have Tesla, and I've ridden them, and I like it. But personally, I don't know if I want it right now.
Okay, let's.
I will say this, I am open for the electric vehicle or electronic vehicle, or whatever you want to say, EV, but I'm not open for the self-driving EV
I agree.
because of the
Absolutely agree. I am
because of the
scared.
accident.
I would never do that.
I don't know. I mean, you could. It depends on where you are on the freeway, and
Even then, I would not do it.
I think the person has to be at least right there
Right.
to hold it. I mean, but yes,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great feature to have.
But listen,
Don't
if,
get me
if,
wrong. I've tried that. So
if,
I'm not going to
if
say
the
I'm not
hydro
trying that.
cells, if the hydrogen cell car comes out, I'm going to go and buy one.
But with a steering wheel, not without a steering wheel.
With the steering wheel. But they have a different kind of a steering wheel.
Okay.
But you have to have a steering wheel.
Yeah.
Period. Okay, let's go to this caller. Go ahead, Shantila. It's been a long time.
Haji, thanks. Yes, been a long time. Thank you for taking my call. Let me give you one example of the Tesla. We were 5 of us sitting in a Tesla going for a fundraising at some rich neighborhood, and a person hoping that we will get a substantial amount of donation. But it so happened that he was living in a gated community. So when he was living in a gated community, this person who was driving Tesla, he was very proud of taking his Tesla with him. And while we come to this gated community, the guard comes out and takes our ID and information and tells the owner of the house that you have visitors coming in. And he said, okay, no problem. So while he was taking down all the information, and this is at 8 p.m. in the evening, and after having okayed for us to go, the Tesla won't start and it won't go forward. Now,
That's my point.
Tesla, the Tesla is dark from all over, right? And we came in the front, we tried to push it and do whatever we can to get it out of the way. And there was a bunch of cars behind us thinking that, they wanted to get in. Also,
Hey, Shantila, let's
just
come
like
back to taxes now. Enough of Teslas now.
Tesla and taxes. Let's do that.
Tesla and taxes.
Then I tell you what, the owner had to call the Tesla dealership, and the Tesla dealership says the earliest somebody can come out will be 3 days later. Wow. It had to be towed down from there. That was the battery operated car situation. Then in Virginia, I sat in my nephew's car, and we were on a vacation there. So he was driving Tesla, and I could see the dashboard and I could see the battery run down. And then as soon as the battery ran down, we got in panic that we need to find a charging station. And every charging station that we went to, either they were occupied or they were of the low ampere hours that will take at least about 4 hours or 5 hours to charge. That was the situation in Virginia then, All right.
No, that's great. I think you've done a lot of research on this. This is good.
Yeah. So and that is the reason I would not buy Tesla. But at the same time, let me also tell you that the oil industry, if that breaks down, that will completely turn down the employment that so many people around the world have been employed in the gas industry or the petrol-driven car. It is a domino effect. That's what is going to happen. And I don't know how people will survive without, if everything gets battery operated, just like the motion is at the moment. That's what I'm trying to say. I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you.
Now let's continue. My question to you guys, we were talking about depreciation. Now, if you have a S corporation And if you have a C corporation, if it is an S corporation, then you're transferring all your income to your personal side. If it is a C corporation, then you are paying it through because of the C corporation. The corporation pays certain income tax. How do you take care of depreciation when it is an S corporation or it is a C corporation?
The depreciation rules are same for S or C. Depreciation has, it's not going to look at whether you, which kind of business entity you have, whether it is S Corp, LLC, whether you file 1065 or 1120 or C Corp. So that is irrelevant. That's not going to impact your tax situations or depreciation amount. What is important for the S corporation is the officers has to take a reasonable compensation. And that's where we run into some situations where the owner who is a sole proprietor or sole owner forms a corporation, convert into a S, subchapter S, and he says, well, if I have money, I'll take the salary. He doesn't pay himself. And the underlying reason for having a reasonable compensation is that he cannot have his K1 of 100,000 go to his 1040 without paying Social Security or self-employment taxes. Correct. So that's why IRS wants him to take a reasonable compensation. Now, what is reasonable
if
is
it
a
is
question.
An S corporation.
It's an S corporation, okay. Yeah.
Interesting. Good, good. So let's go. Do you have?
And of course, Mahesh, you want to add up something about the depreciation and all those things, the rules which have changed regarding the basis. So if the basis is not there,
yeah,
that's a tricky
it's
thing because there is no basis, there's losses,
yeah.
there are distributions, and there's
so
no basis.
Many a times the client in a real estate, especially, they take a huge depreciation and they have put in, let's say, 10% down, and they get 90% or 85% loan, and their own investment is so low, and they are running through some difficult time. They have a losses. So in order to in order to claim the losses, you have to have a basis. So basis means you have to have invested capital into the business. And the basis rules are simple. If you make a profit, let's say you invest $100,000 and then next year you make a profit of 50,000. On K1, you get 50,000 positive number. It adds to your basis because you are paying taxes on that. So now your basis is 150,000. Next year you have 150,000 loss. You claim the loss. Your basis is zero. Now on, you have to be careful about claiming those losses. So that is something each business person should be aware of. And otherwise, you are going to have some issues claiming the losses. And also, the real estate losses are passive losses unless you are engaged in the business. And so if you see on your K1, there is a operating income and there is a rental income. So rental income typically are passive income, and all the most of our physicians client, and they are not engaged into the real estate business. Engaging business asset.
They do not even know.
Yeah, they don't know where it is. No, they know where it is, but they never have seen that.
Sometimes they would not even know where it is.
Yeah, they have not visited that property and say, oh, I own 10 apartment complexes, but he cannot give the address because somebody else is handling for him. And so all those incomes are passive income, and the passive income rules apply. So these are the basic thing that each taxpayer should be aware of, and in order to plan his own or his or her own affairs, they have to just be mindful of these facts.
So how does, let's suppose if you invest in a real estate through REIT, how does that work out? The REIT provide you a K1?
REIT provides you the K1 as well as the 199A that you can exclude. It depends on the REIT, whether it is publicly traded REITs or privately, non-traded REITs.
Okay.
So you will get it. If you look at the Blackstone, they were a private REITs. Correct. Now they converted into a company, corporations, because of 21% tax rate. So those REITs will give you, and they will also distribute, they have to distribute almost 95% of their operating income to the shareholders. And then only the REITs can maintain their statuses. So it's a good real estate, a good asset class, non-correlated, non-volatile as compared to the equity. But it's something that you should be careful because it has a tax implications.
Wow. You want to add something, Rimpo?
No, I think Mahesh covered everything. I would like to add to the people who own rental properties, there are Section 199 deductions. They sometimes don't pay attention to, and they could qualify for that. It's just how they work out and how they prove and show what they're doing for the rental properties, and they might qualify for those 20% deduction.
So let me ask you this. When someone comes to you for personal filing, what documents would you require from them to give it to you so that you would be able to file? Because sometimes many of the individual people may not even know how to, really create a document, or they even have a good document.
So Jagat bhai, I would say we get documents in shoe boxes and we get them in flash drives.
Okay, so talk it. Oh my God, look at that.
And we are in 2021.
I'm the flash drive, my wife is the shoe box.
No, I don't know anything, everything my wife handles. So this is a number.
So
call her.
how frustrating it is, and how many times, I guess, even though you make it clear to your clients that these are the kind of things that I need, but sometimes the clients just do not listen good, and this is the system that I've been following. So you do whatever you need to do.
So I would say that this is a common problem amongst all the taxpayers. However, you have to coach them, you have to guide them, you have to bring them in line, and you have to train them and say, hey, how you do your work, and what do you expect from them. So if you do that and go through that, and then you establish a good client, then you can establish a good client CPA client relationship. The first question I ask him is that, why do you want to change? What's wrong with your current CPA or current tax preparer? And so based on that, we get to know a lot of insight. And then we ask them, I want to see your last 3 years tax return.
Oh, okay.
Because there are many times the carried over information is hidden there. We just have to pick up that number, but he doesn't know that where it
Exactly.
is. So we just bring it, they bring it to us, we look at it, we establish a relationship. And if a client is just shopping around for the pricing, that's not a good client for us, because if you tell him $500 and somebody next year say, oh, I will do it for $400, he's going to jump on that. So that's not the best client for us. When we value the relationship, we provide them services, we provide them tax planning ideas. We cannot do on a 1 year off, 1 year on,
Correct.
I mean, that's not how we can do it.
Interesting.
I think we are more like a partner in their everything, their financial life, I would say. So if we know their situation year over year, we can provide them better advice and give them the right type of services rather than just, preparing their tax
Yeah.
return after the fact.
It's a kind of a psychological thing that the client sometimes just doesn't want to open up, and
Doctors and CPAs, you have to
you
open up.
have to open up. I totally agree with you, but they may not bring all the documents, but when you CPAs, hey, listen, I'm missing this particular document, and then, oh yeah, I forgot,
That happens all the time.
All the time.
We,
You have
we,
to
have, we have put a frequently asked questions on our website and on our things where it's clearly written, what are the expectations.
Right.
So
But
they
no
know.
one wants to read that.
Yeah,
That
but
is
no
a
one
different
wants to read
story,
it, right?
It's a different story.
So,
But at
so
least
there is a,
everything's out there.
yeah, there is you just said there, but there's a paradoxical situation. People will spend 10 hours, 8 hours, 15 hours to take a 3-day vacation to plan their travel and hotel and
Right.
all those things. But
That's
and
more
they
than
will
3 days.
yeah, I mean, they go for like week and they want to spend, and they decide they get everybody, their family on the same page, and they say, okay, well, I cannot go here now, I have a conflict, blah blah blah. But then when they pay the taxes, they pay almost 1/4 to 25% to 33% of their income in taxes. But they don't realize that that is a very heavy amount that they are paying, and they need to plan, and they need to have a time set aside to take care of this issue.
Priority. So since we are talking about the taxpayer and the service, remember the Internal Revenue Service, the mission of that is service, of course, but also enforcement. So those both things go together. As taxpayers, taxpayers have the Bill of Rights. I'll just go over the Bill of Rights for the education and the information of the audience. Taxpayers have the right to be informed. The taxpayers have the right to quality service. They have the right to pay no more than the correct amount of the tax. They have the right to challenge the IRS position and be heard. They have the right to appeal an IRS decision at an independent forum. They have a right to finality. They have a right to privacy. They have a right to confidentiality, and they have a right to retain representation. And the most important of the entire situation is right to a fair and a just tax system. So that's what it is.
My apologies.
Nitish, as you were telling, is the tax system fair and just? That is what you're going to discuss from now until the next 4 weeks that Jagat Bhai is going to talk about the Biden taxes and whatever your discussions are going to be. Okay, so keep that in mind. To the right to have a fair and a just tax system. Okay.
Ashish, are you there? Hello?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, loud and clear. So folks, we have Ashish Agrawal. He's running for Fort Bend Independent School District. It's an open seat. And so since he is called in, so let's give him some 5 minutes or so to talk about his campaign, what is the date that everyone needs to go and vote. And if you, all three of you are living in Sugar Land, Fort Bend, you must go and vote for this guy. Yes. All right, Ashish, it's yours.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity. And just to remind, for listeners, my name is Ashish Agarwal. I'm running for Fort Bend ISD Board of Trustees, position 2. My name is second on the ballot. Elections are actually, voting is underway. Today was the 6th day of early voting, and there are 2 more days of early voting remaining, which is this coming Monday, the 26th and the 27th, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And the election day is May 1st, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And anyone who lives in Fort Bend and is zoned to an FBISD school, does not matter whether your kids go to school or not. If they're zoned and you are a voter, you are eligible to go vote. And please, please, please vote. It is very important because the school board that I've shared before, elections matter because it is about our children, because our children's education, and it's also about money, which is taxes. Whether we have kids who go to school or not, we pay taxes, and school board taxes are the largest line item on your property tax bill. So it's very important that we have someone who understands both aspects, which is making sure we have the good schools, we bring in awesome teachers, we have the great technology to help our students, and then also someone who has the experience, business experience, who can actually help manage and lead the $700 million plus of annual budget. Yes, you heard me correct. It was $700 million plus annual budget. And that's why you need someone like me who has the business acumen, who works in billions of dollars of budgets on planning and execution. And unfortunately, I'll share with you, I just came back from the poll location. We are not going out and voting. I mean, literally, I was at James Reese, one of the poll location, and total 75. Yes, you heard me correct. 75 people voted. To put it in perspective, there are 350,000 voters in FBISD. And if I have to guess, total up till now, only 2,500 have voted. This is a huge
election, not just because of this, what I just shared with you, but also because everyone watches, even elected officials watch whether our community is voting or not. Because at the end of the day, they then decide, I mean, knowingly or unknowingly, who do they listen to, right? If we have any priorities, we want to raise it to the elected officials. Look, if we don't go out and vote, more than likely we will not be heard. So another reason to go out and vote, and I urge you, please go out and vote. I am the best candidate because all these priorities that I've been talking about, guess what? All the other candidates have started imitating the same priorities, which is awesome because now you all have to just worry about one set of priorities. And actually, I am the best candidate with the experience to deliver on these priorities. So I'm going to stop talking. I know I spoke for a very long time, but I'm passionate about this, and I'm requesting all your listeners to please go out and vote. It's so easy. It takes less than a minute. My website, Ashish, FORFBISD.com. Again, Ashish, FORFBISD.com has the list of all locations and all the information you need. Thank you so much.
Hey, Ashish, question for you. When the early voting has already started, how long the early voting is going to be there, and what is the day, the day when the voting, I guess the day of the voting itself, sometime in May, right? So go and answer those couple of questions. And you talked about the challenges and other things. Well, all we can do is we can ask all the residents of Fort Bend County to go and vote of their choice. And particularly, if I'm sitting here and do not know anyone, then I would take that responsibility on myself and ask everyone to go and vote for you. This is not open forum, but this is Jagat Kamdas speaking. Go ahead, Smriti.
Yes, so to answer your questions, early voting is going on. The 2 more days of early voting that's remaining are Monday and Tuesday, which is April 26th and April 27th. From both days are from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then the actual election day is May 1st, which is next Saturday, a week from today. And that's also from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And you can go and vote at any Fort Bend poll location. It's not that you have to go to the location that's close to your home. Anywhere. You can literally go and vote anywhere. I hope I answered your question, Jagatji.
I think you did. You did.
Thank you, Ashish. All the best for your campaign.
Thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it.
All right, Ramesh, you are on. Go ahead.
Namaste, everybody. Open forum we have been putting up for a while, so now we want to talk to all of you. One good thing came in. I'm sure you must have discussed about India's situation on coronavirus. And the only appeal I have is if those who want to support, please go to Seva International website or Hindus of Greater Houston or your temple or church or mosque. Ask them how to do it. They can all show the way to provide support because it is not any particular community, race, religion, anything. It's a country whole. The second part is we are preparing an app that by hopefully it will be ready by Monday. So all of us can write to our congressmen, senators, and local officials so that they can all push government to do something on humanitarian basis so that they can supply either oxygen, portable oxygen, as well as the vaccine material and vaccine. So this is one effort being done, and hopefully we should have that app ready by Monday. And but wherever you can talk to the people, please appeal them that this is not a situation, what happened, how happened to think, but how to protect the country, how to protect the people.
I guess my question, Ramesh, to you is, if Indian government spend billions and billions of dollars, why can't they just spend another billion to buy oxygen.
They're doing it. They bought it from Singapore. They're buying from United Arab Emirates. They're buying it. They have put everything.
And personally, the government has to take some responsibility of what is happening in India right now.
That is true. That part, I agree with you. I mean, it is not only central government, state government.
I don't think it's the responsibility of the American government to help. I think they pretty much come out with an idea that why they are not helping right now some other countries. And I posted that a particular article from Economic Times today.
I will check it. But no, I agree. I'm not questioning. The question is, US has a stockpile of vaccine. Some of the vaccine, they are not going to use it. Might as well, in emergency situation, we can request. We cannot force anybody, but there is definitely, we support the government. We vote for them, so we have at least the right to ask. Nothing wrong. And if we don't ask, who will ask?
Let me tell you this, Ramesh Bhai. I'm not against anybody helping on a humanity ground, but the Bombay High Court pretty much ruled that everyone, irrespective of the community they belong to, they have to follow certain guidelines as far as COVID is concerned. On the other hand, the Delhi High Court ruled that only 50 Muslims can go to a masjid, even though the masjid can accommodate 5,000 people. While Uttarakhand Prime Minister and Uttarakhand Chief Justice, they said that there is nothing wrong in having 10 million people in Kumbh Mela. I mean, these are the kind of things happening in India. I mean, how do you expect people like us to support when there are so many different opinions? Even at the government level, even Amit Shah has said that the politics and COVID has nothing to do in West Bengal.
So those are the political statements will come, but at the same time, Amit Shah went to Ahmedabad, they opened another 5,000 bed open hospital. So they are all working. Modi is not going to any campaigning. He's doing only online now. So, but I don't say that the mistake haven't been done, but also in the same part, nobody expected this variant to come that fast and affect everybody. At the same time, government has put all Indian Air Force, Indian Navy, Indian Railway, everybody on a task to deliver oxygen. And what I know as of yesterday, maybe within 3 days, they should be in control of distribution, logistics, and this thing. So our major part at this stage is how to save the country, how to save the people, specifically those who are more vulnerable, those who don't have the capacity to go to hospital, find this thing in the hospitals and this. So this is another way of looking at how we can save. Once it is there, then we can discuss all other issues. That is fine. I agree with you. Hello.
Hello.
Jagat bhai, you are there?
Yes. Yeah.
So time is over.
Yes, we are here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, we are here. We are listening. Yes.
Sorry. It looks like I lost for a minute or something.
No. We were listening to you. And we wanted to give you enough time to make the appeal.
No, this is look, I agree. There are issues within our, even as a community, we are not united as we should be, but that is the part now coming together. How can we save India specifically from this emergency situation, horrendous situation with COVID variant, which is spreading like anything. And if we can come together to find a solution, and then we discuss what happened and why it happened. That is, I agree with. I'm not, because realistically, we are all part of it. Of course, we are here, so we are not responsible for any elections or a temple or mosque or this thing. Another part, Jagat bhai, even if High Court issues the order for weedings and all these things, people have to listen to them. That is a major part. And this is where I think some emergency action has to be taken by state and central government. How they do, we'll see right now, because they're working hard on that. But my appeal is, let us support, find what you call portable oxygen concentrator, which they are, Seva is working on. Other people are working, if they know in their own community, either in Gujarat or Telangana or Kashmir or wherever, they want to support people, so they should do it. Nothing
Okay.
more, you know.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you.
Listen, we can even call him next week. Okay.
Sure. Okay. Bhaiya.
We got only 4 minutes here and we need to close our program. And we have three wonderful CPAs, known CPAs. So last 3 minutes is going to be for them.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
So thank you so much, Open Forum, for giving us the opportunity to talk to your listeners, of course, and the audience across on individual tax filing in uncertain times. I would like to thank the chamber leadership, of course. I'd like to thank Vijayji across over here for assisting and coming out over here.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Bhavna working behind the scenes over there. And of course, our esteemed guests, Mahesh Bhai and Rimple, for being our guests to this panel. They are a family. We are a family, the chamber family, of course, the CPA family. Any point of time, I just have to pick up a phone call and just let them know. It is a very taxing time, let me tell you.
It is. No doubt about
I
it.
just now came from the office directly from at 3:30 from the office.
And
Most of them did the same thing.
And you are supposed to be here for 1 hour and you are here for 2 hours. So we really appreciate it. Open
No
Forum
problem.
really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, Swapanji, give out your information.
Okay, so you can reach out to myself, Swapan Dhairevan. I have my CPA firm just out over here at 59 and Gessner, and my number is 713-774-6533. I have been around for the last 17 plus years and do taxes, small business accounting, and of course, any tax planning for that matter. I would.
Right, go ahead.
I'd like to ask Mahesh Bhai to share his information and thereafter Rimple as well to share her information.
So I'm
and last closing thoughts as well.
Okay, I'm Mahesh Desai, CPA in Bel Air. You can Google me, Mahesh Desai CPA, and you will find me. I'm on 610 and West Loop. Have lived in Houston for last 30 years. Office in Bel Air from last 5 years. My number is 281-236-8444. You can call me or visit me. If you visit me, that is much better than the call because of so many fraudulent call we don't answer unless we know the person. And the closing thought is this. People say, since I'm financial planner and manage money, people say, what good is a wealth if you don't have a health to enjoy? But in terms of taxes, here is what I will say. You will make ton of money and you have to realize that the death and taxes are for sure, it's going to be there. So you have to plan to live and enjoy your money because as a young generation put it, YOLO, and I didn't know what was it. So now I know it is you live only once. So just be mindful of those facts and enjoy your life. And thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you for Open Forum for giving us this opportunity. And thank you, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. My name is Rimple Mashruwala, and I've been in this industry since last 20 years. My office is in Sugarland, and I think the thoughts that I have for the listeners is to there's so many benefits available. You just have to reach out and contact the right person. Everybody, if they're struggling, make sure you have the right advisor behind you.
Well, thank you all. Okay, go ahead.
Final disclaimer from the chamber, of course. Do not change your accountant or your CPA directly. Reach out to them, ask and pose the questions again. The ones that we already discussed. They are not bad people. They are going through things. Okay,
Right.
They know their things. The only thing is how you present it, how you question them, how you pose that out.
Correct.
So if you are feeling uncomfortable about doing that, then you can reach either of these people out over here. So with that, thank you.
Thank you, Jagan.
Yeah, thank you all for this opportunity for all our listeners and stuff. We're very grateful that you're here and you've devoted your time to listen to our questions from all the audiences as well.
Thank you so much, listeners. We'll definitely see you next Saturday. I'm a little over a minute or so. Thank you again. We'll see you next Saturday at same time at 4 p.m. till that time, have a wonderful, wonderful
The rest of the week.
weekends and weekdays. And see you next Saturday here. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Jagadi. Thank you, Sopanji.
Thank you.
पहली